Hey guys, it's been a long time. I think it's been like over a month. And, you know, there's lots of life updates to fill you guys in on, but I'm gonna save that for another video. I have a lot of vlogs coming. I've been catching up. I have footage all the way back from Hawaii to fill you guys in on, which was like 2 months ago, so I'm gonna catch up with all the vlogs because life's been crazy lately. But the biggest life update that I want to tell you guys about is that I started a podcast. Oh my god, I've been talking about it for so long, and you know what? We finally did it. We finally sat down and pressed the record button, even though we didn't know what the heck we were doing, or how to do it, or if the sound sounded good, which it doesn't sound that great, by the way, but I also happened to film the podcast, which I'm going to do for each episode. So I did start a separate YouTube channel for the podcast, which I'm highly encouraging you guys to follow along with. The podcast is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for now. I'm going to try to get it out to more platforms after that. But for now, that's where it's on. And now you can finally watch it on YouTube. So you can watch the video and also listen along if you happen to not have those two platforms, or if you just want to watch the video as well. So I am uploading the first podcast episode video here, right here. You're watching it basically now, starting in a couple seconds. But for the rest of the episodes, I'm going to be posting them onto the other podcast YouTube channel. So make sure you follow that channel, subscribe, and thank you guys so much for your support. Sorry it took me so long to start a podcast, but we're finally doing it, and I'm so excited, and I hope you guys love it. Oh my god. Need some water. So, welcome to On a Whim, the podcast. I am your host, Angelina Nicole. Let's get it started. So, today's episode is basically just going to be a pretty quick introduction episode. I'm anticipating my normal episodes to be about 45 minutes long. This one will probably be shorter just because I'm basically just going to give you guys a quick little rundown on what the podcast is going to be about, quick little introduction to who I am in case you are unfamiliar. And yeah, give you guys a little sneak peek into what you can expect by tuning in to the podcast. So basically, I wanted to start a podcast kind of about navigating life in your 20s because I genuinely do not believe that there is any other time in your life that is as confusing as being in your 20s. This period of your life is so weird and frustrating and confusing, and I fully believe that none of us know what we're actually doing, and that is perfectly okay. I'm 25, so I'm right smack in the middle, and I feel like that's a really good age to kind of talk about these things because, you know, I went through my early 20s, and I feel like I can give you guys some insight now, like looking back on those periods of time in my life. I feel like 25 is a very strange age, though, because you're in the middle, you know, you're past the early 20s, so you're not really in your early 20s anymore. You feel like you should have your life figured out, but you don't yet. Maybe you do. Maybe you're one of the few that do, but I can guarantee that 99% of people in their 20s are very lost, and that's totally okay, and we're going to talk about it. But I want this podcast to be just kind of a place where I can spill my thoughts and ramble because I sure do love to talk a lot. I talk to myself all the time, but now I can actually put it into something, record it, so other people can listen to my ramblings and word vomiting. Yeah, essentially I just need a place to put my thoughts, but if you also want to tune in, that'd be great too. I'm doing this podcast for myself, but also for you guys. But I want this to be a pretty broad podcast in terms of topics. Like, I just want to talk about everything. I don't want there to be pretty much anything off limits. So we're going to talk about friendships, relationships, dating, love life, finances, careers and jobs, and navigating all the different things, but from the perspective of being in your 20s, you know, like finances, travel, health and wellness, how to balance all of these different things. Not that I'm an expert, but we're going to talk about these things anyways. Also like self-improvement and mental health as well. A lot of stuff about that. A couple story times here and there. I don't know, just literally everything. So yeah, that's kind of what you can expect, is just a little bit of everything, but from the perspective of someone in their 20s. And also if you're not in your 20s, if you're, you know, past your 20s, if you haven't yet quite reached the age of the 20s, welcome as well. I genuinely wish that I had a podcast like this to listen to when I was in my teenage years, because I think that it would have helped me prepare a lot for this time in my life. Because I think that we grow up with this perspective that when you reach your 20s, you have it all figured out. You have your life figured out, you know what you're going to do with your life, you have all the friends you've ever wanted, you have all the money you've ever wanted, you have a set career in mind, you're already on that path, maybe you've even started a family, bought a house, all that stuff. And once you get to your 20s, you realize, actually, I do not have it all figured out. In fact, I am more confused than ever before. And yeah, I feel like most of us can probably relate and agree with that. Hopefully it's not just me. So if that all sounds great to you, then welcome. Hopefully you'll stick around. So why the name On a Whim? Let's talk about that. Because it did take me a really long time to come up with a name for this podcast, and that was one of the many reasons why it's taken me so long to start. I get very caught up on the little minute details of things, and it prevents me from doing anything. Bad habit, honestly. But I did come up with the name On a Whim because, first of all, let me read you guys the definition of what on a whim means, because I did not come up with it. It is a phrase. You've probably heard it before. So doing something on a whim means doing it without planning it carefully or thinking about it seriously. So essentially doing things spontaneously and impulsively. You do it just for fun. It's like YOLO, essentially, but let's not bring back that phrase, please. On a whim is a neutral phrase, not positive or negative, and neither very formal nor very casual. So it's neutral. You can think of it in any way you want. I would say a lot of people think of it negatively, like, oh, he or she does things on a whim, kind of like, they don't really put any forethought into it, but I don't think it's a bad thing sometimes. It doesn't have to be. And I felt like it was very fitting because I'm quite literally starting this podcast on a whim because, I have the equipment, right? I bought it, but I didn't really do any research into, I have no idea after I hit the, end recording button. I don't know what to do after that. But if you're listening to this, then I figured it out. So that's good. But yeah, I don't really know how to get this podcast into anyone's ears, but I think I'll figure it out. So if you're listening, I did. Pat on the back for me. And yeah, I feel like living on a whim, living spontaneously and kind of impulsively is very fitting for living in your 20s, life in your 20s. I feel like so much of us are genuinely just winging it through life. And I feel like even the people who seem like they have it all together are still just winging it. And, lucky girl syndrome, for a lot of us, winging it and living on a whim kind of ends up working out. And even if it doesn't, it still does, if you know what I mean. Everything happens for a reason, in my opinion, and I think that you just kind of have to go through the motions and figure it out one step at a time, and it all will eventually fall into place. But you gotta just do things on a whim, spontaneously, to figure it out. Because otherwise you're just gonna sit there, you're gonna be in your comfort zone forever, and you're never gonna figure it out, and honestly, you'll probably be miserable. Hate to break it to you, but you probably will be. Life is not fun when you're living in your comfort zone, let me tell you. Okay, so now that we've got kind of the podcast out of the way, hopefully you guys have a pretty good glimpse as to what it's going to be about, and you have a good understanding of what you're getting yourself into. Hopefully it sounds good to you. Hopefully you're excited. I'm excited. But I'll give you guys a quick, brief introduction into who I am. In case you don't know, I feel like a lot of you probably do, but my name is Angelina Nicole. Actually, Nicole's my middle name. My name's Angelina Draper. That's my real name. Oh my god. You guys probably already know that. But I go by Angelina Nicole on social media. I'll somehow have all of my social media handles and links and everything somewhere where you can find them. Again, I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. So hopefully you can find those things if you don't already follow me and you want to follow me. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Some of you have probably been following me for a long time. I started a YouTube channel back when I was about 15 years old in high school. When I was vegan, I had just gone vegan, and I wanted to kind of share my recipes and what I eat in a day videos because I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. That was when YouTube was really thriving back in the day, And I kind of got in at the right place, right time. I wasn't really planning on ever being a influencer, if you will, because I don't really think that term even existed back then, or if it did, it was very rare for someone to be kind of a content creator. I didn't even know you could make money. I didn't even know that was a thing. It all kind of happened accidentally. I gained some followers, and then I started, an Instagram kind of along with my YouTube channel, and that it didn't blow up. I never really blew up, never really went super viral. I'm not a huge influencer by any means, but yeah, and then I started TikTok a couple years ago, and honestly, I feel like that's probably my most popular platform at the time, or like right now, just because it's easy to grow on there. So if you don't follow me on TikTok and you have TikTok, highly recommend, because I post a lot on there. Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a very fun time on TikTok. Anyways. Okay, what else about me? So I'm 25, you guys already know that. I am originally from San Diego, and actually my boyfriend and I currently do not have a permanent living situation because we decided to travel. So yeah, we moved out of our place a couple months ago in San Diego, and instead of buying a place or renting somewhere new, we put all of our stuff into a storage unit and decided to travel because we both work remote. I'm a content creator, so you can pretty much do that wherever as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. And my boyfriend works remote in marketing, so it's a little bit more strict in terms of where we work from. But yeah, we're basically just traveling and doing that for now because why not? Why the heck not? On a whim. Very fitting again. My boyfriend's name is James. We've been together for 4 years, and he's a Virgo man. I know, the most hated sign, but he's great, honestly. I have to admit, he's a great Virgo man. Maybe not all of them are bad. If you're into astrology at all, I'm not like an astrology nerd by any means, but for those of you who are curious, I am a Sagittarius sun, a Virgo moon, and a Gemini rising. So do with that information what you will. I would say the on a whim and like traveling aspect of myself, and also the constant need to speak and talk and spill my brain into anyone who will listen is very Sagittarius of me. I think I fit the stereotype of a Sagittarius pretty well. So that's good. Hopefully you guys, I don't know. I don't really know. I honestly don't have a niche, and it's always been really hard for me to niche down into one thing because I just cannot. I'm a multifaceted human being, as we all are. But I would say like if I had to narrow my content down and kind of like my hobbies and stuff, and it would be travel, health and wellness, and kind of fitness. I've gotten into going to the gym lately, posting some fitness content here and there, still in the process of getting my certified personal training certification. Also, sorry if I'm heavy breathing. I'm at my parents' house in Colorado right now, and we're at like 8,000 elevation, or 8,000 feet. Yeah, elevation, so there's a little less oxygen and it's a little hard to breathe. It's not hard to breathe, but it's just like speaking a lot. I'm getting out of breath a little bit. I'm not quite used to it yet. But yeah, travel, health and wellness. I'm a big queen of balance. I'm all about balance. So, as much as I love eating healthy and working out and having my little morning routine, I also love my fair share of cocktails and going to festivals and parties and going out and having a good time because, hey, I'm in my 20s and why the heck not? And if you aren't into that stuff, that's perfectly okay. No pressure. You do not need to do any of that stuff. It's honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, it's overrated and more fun than it looks. Although I will say going to see live music is like top tier. If you're going to spend your money on anything, spend it on going to concerts, for real. Even festivals can be overrated, but like just concerts in general, any live music, 10 out of 10. The older I get, the more I realize like that and travel is like what I want to spend my money on. That and food too, because I love eating. I also have a Flemish giant rabbit named Reggie or Reginald or Wiggy or Squilliam or whatever you want to call him. He has a lot of different names. And while we're traveling, he is currently in very good hands from a trusted friend. He's being taken care of. But he's very cute, and I love him. I will have many animals one day. I'm a big animal lover. I'm also mostly plant-based. I don't know if that matters to any of you, but I am. Because I said that I started my channel when I went vegan. I eat eggs now, but I am mostly like vegetarian, but I eat eggs. I don't really know. I try not to label myself anyway. I try not to put labels on myself anymore, especially on diets, because it's just, people are so weird on the internet about that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I do love animals a lot. Big passion of mine. So that's about it for me. There's obviously more I could say, but I don't want to ramble too long because like I said, this is just gonna be a really quick little introduction episode. The rest of the episodes will be like actual proper podcast episodes where each episode is going to be covering a specific topic. If you have any topic suggestions, leave, like, I don't know, DM me on Instagram or something. I check most of my DMs. I have some free time, so yeah, send me a message if you are listening to this and you have any ideas or you want me to cover any topics. I'll probably be posting on my Instagram, like on my stories, like little, you know, if you guys ever want to ask questions, I might do like little Q&As or something like that. I'm thinking, I will have already decided this after you've listened to this, but right now I'm saying it. Podcast, new episode every Monday, so once a week. Episodes will probably be around 45 minutes if I can keep my rambling to a minimum. And yeah, if you're listening to this, I will have, like I said, figured out how you are listening to it. And if you do like this episode and my podcast in general, or you just want to be nice, leave me a 5-star review or a rating or 5 stars. I don't really know how it works, but if you can and you want to, leave me a review and I will love you forever and I will be sending you all the positive energy your way. Alrighty, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I cannot wait for more. And yeah, don't forget to stay hydrated today. Go chase your little goals and dreams, and may all of your aspirations and wishes come true. Love ya. Bye.